following is a hockey podcast out of Vancouver and Surrey, British Columbia. It'll only consist of a lot of puck talk and even more BS, or in actual words, banter and satire. Enjoy, and as always, go Canucks, go.
I think it's going to happen. My resources, my intuition, my pessimism is saying that the Canucks and the Devils are going to make a huge Hughes-like trade ASAP. Not in 2026, but in 2025, like this summer. Okay? Let's talk about it here on Locked On Canucks.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
People, we back doing this. And that's talking a lot about BS involving your favorite hockey team, the Vancouver Canucks, because we're still here, dog, okay? We're not doing well, but we're still here. And that's wrapping our heads around your Vancouver Canucks. And it's not just a this season thing, it's an everyday thing. When you choose this life, man, that blue and green life. Before we get to the episode, let's shout out FanDuel. What do new customers get? $250 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com for more info. And let's make a bet right now. Let's do it. Okay, my name's Kyle Bound, and I approve of this message, kind of. But like I said, I'm feeling it. And I'm feeling it right now. I think Quinn Hughes gets traded this summer. If the Canucks can't hit grand slams this offseason, which sounds desperate. Sounds crazy. But, man, I feel as if we need a miracle to keep the miracle around. Again, Quinn Hughes, that damn good. And so damn desperate to win. And no team right now in sport is this dysfunctional. Okay? This is like New York Jets like energy. And what do you know? Well, what did Rick Tocchet do last year? Last summer, he hung out with Robert Saleh, right? Former head coach of the New York Jets. Brought some of that energy here. Thank you very much. And yeah, now you're gone. And is Quinn Hughes next? And is he going to New Jersey ASAP to play with his brothers again? A handful of days ago, Rutherford and Alvin leaking. Yes, leaking. That Quinn Hughes wants to play with his brothers. I mean, hockey nerds, hockey fans around the globe. They could put two and two together and do that themselves, but we never heard it confirmed. And then we did, courtesy of Grandpa Rutherford and the best Canuck of all time, Quinn Hughes, right? That's what it sounded like. He wants to play with his brothers. And Quinn Hughes, 2 years left on that contract with the Vancouver Canucks. And there's not a time during now and his departure where his trade value is this damn high. And I wonder if the Devils, the New Jersey Devils, a team that just got eliminated again early in the Stanley Cup playoffs, and rightfully so, no Jack Hughes at all for the whole series. You're not going to get far anyways, right? The season's somewhat of a write-off. I wonder, though, if they want to do some moving and shaking around. ASAP. I wonder if they want to go Kawhi Leonard mode. Remember when the Toronto Raptors, they made that remarkable, amazing, unbelievable, even at the time for some stupid trade involving Kawhi Leonard, who wasn't going to be around for a very long time in Toronto, but nonetheless, they made the trade. They gave up DeRozan. They gave up somebody else, and they traded the leadership of their team to get Kawhi. This is after the Raptors have historic season after historic season in the regular season and whatnot, but again, can't get the job done, and they just give up on the core, and they get Kawhi. I wonder if the Devils are willing to give up Nico Hischier and more, and a lot more, to be honest, because Quinn Hughes is generational. But yeah, for Quinn Hughes, and just complete the trifecta of Hughes brothers in New Jersey to help them take the next step. And I know Nico Hischier, a really good player, but nowhere close to the level of talent of Quinn Hughes, right? Like, again, what if it's Nemec? What if it's Nico Hischier? What if it's the guy they drafted in the first round last year? What if it's another pick? Who knows? What if they take a big swing And they get started on the complete Hughes era in New Jersey. And again, I got to preface this to put it into like the NHL video game terms. Nico Hischier, a really good player. In fact, to me, he's like 91 overall, 92 overall in some games. Like he's really, really talented, really good at a lot of things. But Quinn Hughes, man, if he's not 99 overall, he's 106 overall. Right? Like, he's the guy that could take a team over the top, a good team. And not too long ago, the Canucks were a good team. But right now, again, we're just dysfunctional and lost. And it's one thing for people to connect the Tocchet loss and then draw up their conclusions about Quinn Hughes and his thoughts on that process and that departure, because, Quinn Hughes is Rick Tocchet's best friend and whatnot and blah, blah, blah. But it's another to also hear Rutherford completely saying that the Tocchet departure was not part of the plan. So that's another thing, a huge thing that doesn't go to plan. And successful teams, not only are they a family, Rick Tocchet, successful teams are a family. They fix their issues, but successful teams, they stick to the plan, right? They keep it moving. And the Canucks are so far away from their initial plan or any plan whatsoever. So everything's on the table this summer. And again, Trevor, I keep saying this. You may want to slap me, but if the Canucks don't have a successful draft, a successful July 1st when it comes to player acquisition, successful all of that early on in the summer, hey, if Elias Pettersson isn't the strongest guy at the gym, if he's not the next Arnold Schwarzenegger, I don't want to say the last part because I struggle and I don't want to go there. But if all that doesn't happen, I really think the Canucks and Quinn Hughes are going to start talking about, blowing it up ASAP.
Well, I think we're already going down that path, man. And I did feel like the darkest guy on the program, the darkest Canuck fan out there, but I can't be the only one thinking it, right? The fact that Rick Tocchet left, I'm telling you, Rick Tocchet would have stayed with this team if he had confidence that both Quinn Hughes was going to stay long-term and that Elias Pettersson was going to bounce back. Because then you still have the pillars, right? You have the pillars that we've been talking about for years between Pettersson and Hughes and Thatcher Demko. The fact that, those guys there's question marks really about all of them now. Demko's health, Pettersson's future, Quinn Hughes staying in Vancouver. The fact that those are all question marks now, I think was just too much for Rick Tocchet. I mean, he's going to throw out the family reasons and yada, yada, but not to say that that's not a reason, but I think it's intertwined. I don't think it is the sole reason that, hey, I want to be closer to family in Philadelphia or on the East Coast. I do think it is very closely tied to the pillars on this team, which are Elias Pettersson, Quinn Hughes, and Thatcher Demko. And right now, the pillars, they're cracking, man. And it looks like this whole Canucks foundation might be cracking right now. And it is going to lead to, as you put in the title, some huge decisions, maybe sooner than we think here.
And then go down that proposition, again, again, can the Devils be like the Toronto Raptors in 2019 and just say, screw it. I know Nico Hischier's really damn good and he's a great leader, but let's make some drastic moves and bring in generational talent. Again, when the Raptors did it, they got Kawhi and they won a championship. If the Devils do it, they get generational talent for years and years and years and years because Quinn Hughes is that damn good. I just feel like they'd be open to going down that path right now. And I just feel as if, again, Quinn Hughes' value, whether it be with the Devils or across the league, but let's just focus on the Devils here, is way higher knowing that, you have him under that contract for 2 years, which is a money thing, right? You have one of the best players in the league making only that much for 2 years. It opens up that grand window even bigger for the Devils if they do that trade ASAP. So how much would it be? Because when I say Nico Hischier, Simon Nemec, I know you brought a defenseman who they drafted last year too. Now we're talking about 3 quote unquote premium assets. Do they need more to get Quinn Hughes? And take away your Vancouver bias too. Try to do that. Try to not necessarily win this trade because you're a diehard Canucks fan. Just focus on the whole Quinn Hughes thing. And yeah, how much do you have to give up to get Quinn Hughes?
Yeah, honestly, it's putting my Canuck bias aside. It's hard to even compare this to anything because there are almost no trades like this of comparison in the NHL, right? And the Mikko Rantanen trade was one of the biggest ones we've seen of the cap era, but I don't know if we've ever seen a defenseman like Quinn Hughes traded in his prime, right? So I think it should be an absolute haul coming back to the Canucks. Now, of course, the caveat is the Devils are paying this premium to get Quinn Hughes 1 or 2 years early, right? Depending on when this deal would take place. I think Nico Hischier is an interesting player to look at in return. It depends. The Canucks are going to, try to straddle the line as they've always done between this win now and build for the future. But Nico Hischier, again, he's a fantastic player. And honestly, he's a luxury in New Jersey, just like, you could argue JT Mo's a luxury in Vancouver. Didn't feel like a luxury because Elias Pettersson's playing like a third liner. But having 2 number 1 centers is a luxury. The Devils do have that luxury. So, I think Nico Hischier, one or maybe both of Simo Nemec, Anton Siliev, a 6'7", 10th overall pick from 2024. I got like Seamus Casey too would be an interesting one. I mean, he tore it up for the Devils in Call of Duty. He's actually profiles like a little bit to Quinn Hughes light. And you're probably looking at like, so let's call it Hischier, 2 like stud prospect defensemen and probably a first round pick to me is a starting point. And maybe there's more to it as well. I know the Devils don't have their first this year. They have 2 seconds. They have 2 firsts for 2026 and then 2027. So the deal looks like something like that to me. Like, let's call it Hischier, 2 stud young prospect defensemen between Nemec, Casey, and Siliev, and a first round pick is probably where it starts. But man, oh man, I mean, it's again hard to find comparables for this trade. And I saw the question from NJK in the comments. Shout out to all our commenters on Long Tom Canucks. He asked, what happened to the Spurs after the Kawhi Leonard trade? They haven't made the playoffs since 2019. So I mean, again, it's just a really hard thing to do. And I think like if the Canucks are going to make this move, they're probably just better off collecting as many futures as possible, as depressing as that is, rather than trying to toe the line between winning now and winning later.
Yeah, no, I understand. I'm like, if you trade for Hischier and all that jazz, like, yeah, you're not a better team because you're trading away Quinn Hughes, and like, does that just leave you back in the mushy middle? Like, is it more important for the Canucks to like pick a direction for the first time in such a long time, right? And like stick to it for like a course of years, like stick to the plan? Quite possibly so, but then the Canucks could even just like flip Hischier later, and just get more. Just like rinse it out more. I wonder if the Devils are acting a little crazy, or if they're sleeping with the devil. There's like some Illuminati spirit there, and they're just like willing to get like sexy with the trade board ASAP. Like honestly, I just wonder. And NGK asked another question too. Like, why would the Devils want to make that trade when Quinn's going to sign there in 2 years? Well, dude, a lot can happen in 2 years, and right now you have Jacob Markstrom, and like he was good this year. He wasn't perfect, but he's going to get older, and like that number 1 goalie thing is like, it's a luxury, or just having a strong goalie. I know there's like random goalies across the league doing their thing, right? But you have 2 years of like 2 extra years of Quinn Hughes at this age, the way he's playing with his brothers. Like you look at Jesper Bratt too, like he's playing so remarkable right now. That's why, because you're not thinking 3 years from now, right? You're thinking now. And again, I know Quinn gets hurt a lot too, but Jack's already suffered like multiple big injuries already in his career. It's like, maybe the time is now for them to just bring in the generational talent, like Quinn Hughes, man. Like go swing for the fence, yo. You're looking at a teetering team. Like I'm not saying actually the Devils aren't teetering. They're a good hockey team, but I feel like they've been doing the same thing over the last like 3 years. Like could they like do something here? You know what I'm saying? Or the last 3 to 4 years. I know last year was off with the injuries and the goaltending and whatnot, but is this a time for them to just think outside the box? But outside of that box, it's like, 160 more games of Quinn Hughes before he gets here.
Yeah, no, I think you hit the nail on the head. It's a lot can happen in a couple of years, and you still need a team to win. Like it's, maybe casual fans might think like, oh, they have all 3 Hughes brothers, like they're going to win the cup. But like you said, Jacob Markstrom's going to be in his late 30s by that point. Jesper Bratt, Nico Hischier theoretically exiting their prime at that point. Timo Meier, same thing. They have a pretty middling prospect pool, and most of their prospects are stud defensemen. There's not a lot of forwards coming up in that organization too. So, I think it would, if they're going to target Quinn Hughes, like sure, they could just bring him in as a free agent in a couple of years. But, if the Canucks are going to go down this avenue, if Hughes is not going to re-sign, like it could make it could make a lot of sense for the Devils to actually, put forth a really viable offer to the Vancouver Canucks to get this done sooner rather than later.
And yeah, emphasis on viable. And if it's not to New Jersey, if the Canucks just like say no, that like next year is going to still be like a mushy middle / we need to get lucky to have success type of year, they just got to make the decision early, because you get more for Quinn Hughes now than you do next year. Especially again, like we say this all the time, like next summer when every team across the league knows that it's like, oh, we have to trade a lot to get 12 months of Quinn Hughes or 8 months of Quinn Hughes because he's going to go to his hang out with his brothers. Like, thank you, Rutherford. And You know, I applaud the comedy, but it's like the leverage on premium assets all season long, and now possibly with Quinn Hughes just thrown out the window because you just like. It's funny how Rutherford's like, oh, you know, it's not a smart thing to do to negotiate through the media. Well, you're kind of doing that with your trade.
But I'm going to do it anyways.
Yeah. Anyways, Trevor, come on, man.
Okay.
Can we talk? Can we talk leafs and Sens for a bit? After the break.
Let's cut to break here. On the other side, I do want to do. I'm throwing this at you, Kyle, but I want to do a segment called "Why New Jersey Sucks" and why the Hughes brothers should just come here instead. So let's talk a little smack about the city of New Jersey. Speaking of talking smack, let's talk some smack about one of the other biggest disappointments in the NHL over the past decade or so, the Toronto Maple Leafs. Are they really going to choke again? All that and more coming up on the other side. You're listening to Locked On Canucks, your Canucks every damn day. We'll be back after showing at our friends over at FanDuel. Who's with me, Canada? Who's with me? Who's betting on the Ottawa Senators to come back?
Let's go.
To complete the comeback against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Man, oh man. Toronto. I know I had a Leafs guy in my dressing room yesterday, and he's not believing. He thinks Ottawa's coming back and winning, and I think most Toronto fans feel the same way. If you want to capitalize on that, man, go place a bet on FanDuel, okay? Because NHL playoffs in full swing, NBA playoffs as well on FanDuel. They're giving new customers an incredible way to get in on the action. Right now, if you join FanDuel and place a $5 bet, you can get back $250 in bonus bets. And the app, man, is so damn easy to use. Even I can use it, okay? I'm getting older, man. I'm not so great with technology, but FanDuel, they come through in the clutch. For Game 6, let's bring this up. The Ottawa Senators are favorites on the money line. They're favorites on the money line to beat the Toronto Maple Leafs in Game 6, according to FanDuel. So, man, oh, man, if you're believing that Toronto is being disrespected here and you want to place a bit on Toronto, I can see there being some value there. But Ottawa, minus 118 on the money line. They're plus 210 to win by more than one goal. So whatever bet you're placing, make sure you go place it on FanDuel. Get new customers, bet $5 and get $250 in bonus bets. Go check that out on FanDuel.com.
Okay, we back doing this, and that's talking about your Vancouver Canucks. Trevor Begg, second best dad in the world. Kyle Bowen, pessimistic mother pucker, okay? That being said, before you come at me for being negative, read between the lines, okay? I also been talking a lot of shit about Rick Tocchet because he's no longer on our team, and I'm loyal to the blue and green. And also the commenters here on Locked On Canucks. Ashneil Lal is back, man, in the comments, man. Diehard Oilers fan. I'm miserable watching the Oilers game highlights, always watching them come back. Honestly, I'm surprised my phone's not broken yet. Okay. And he's saying, I told you boys, Canucks weren't making the playoffs this season. And then he's like, the Oilers are Canada's team. And then NGK in the comment is telling Ashneil to fly a kite. Okay. Is that a Canadian diss? I never heard that one. Is there a subliminal asshole message in there? Like, is that allowed to be shown on YouTube? I don't know. And then NGK is also saying 100% of Oilers fans, aka Ashneil, has a mom that doesn't love him. Okay, that's okay. Your mom jokes. Okay, your mom jokes are, come on. That's what those jokes were like fading out when me and Ashneil became friends in 2011. When he failed math 8 and I went into grade 8. My bad. I shouldn't have brought it up.
Colin, we got to ask this question because we were going to talk about it yesterday before the Rick Tocchet news broke. But, I did my list before the playoffs started of who I would cheer for, who Canucks fans should cheer for. I ranked every team's 1 through 16. The bottom 2 on my list, I would cheer for 14 other teams ahead of these guys, the Edmonton Oilers or the Toronto Maple Leafs. But, in a cruel world, if those 2 teams were to make the Stanley Cup final, Kyle, who are you cheering for?
Damn. Neither, dude. Come on, that's the easy answer. I don't give a come on, man.
No, that's
I want to be the first Canadian team to win a Stanley Cup, okay? Come on, man. Come on, man.
Yeah, okay. If you're too scared to go on a limb, I guess I'll do it because I already made the list. But I'd be puking in my mouth. I wouldn't necessarily be cheering, but if I had to choose a team, I'd be choosing Edmonton over Toronto.
Okay, there you go, Trevor.
I think you're not loyal. Choosing greatness. Choosing Connor McDavid winning, I think he is bound to win one at some point in his career. It would be it would be a hell of a story if he didn't win one. Again, I'm going to say I don't want either of these teams to win.
Yeah,
but if I had to choose one, I'd be choosing Edmonton. I know Chris Tanev's in Toronto. Like, that is a nice story. But man, oh man, just
greatness.
The insufferable nature of Canada's first team to break the cup trail being the Toronto Maple Leafs, to me, it just doesn't sit right. The amount of media coverage we've seen from Toronto over the years, slammed down our throats, especially when they were a bad team in the 2010s. I don't know, man. For me, it's too much to handle Toronto winning. I think I would go Edmonton over Toronto if those two teams made the Stanley Cup final.
Well, you just lost us 8 subscribers. You're an asshole. And honestly, bro, like when
Yo,
I have children,
bold,
when I have children, I don't want them to call you Uncle Trevor. No, just call him Trevor.
So
okay?
Kyle
no, bro, you're not loyal. You're not loyal because you're not loyal. You're not loyal. The Oilers killed us. If we beat the Oilers, JT Miller's still here. Rick Tocchet is still here. Okay? One more win. Couple more goals. Don't forget about that, Trevor. The Oilers killed us. Red wedding. Okay? But here you are just saying, oh, go win a cup, Edmonton. If the Oilers and the Maple Leafs are in the Stanley Cup final, turn off the TV. How about that, Trevor? Go for a walk. How about not give a puck? But here you are, just you'll hand the cup to McDavid. You'll wipe it down for him.
I think I would take a Cleveland steamer on it inside the Stanley Cup and then pass it to McDavid, man.
What's a Cleveland steamer? Like taking a poop in the cup?
Yeah, go look it up on YouTube.
Okay, Trevor. Let's not say that out loud too. Maybe that's why we're never in the Stanley Cup, because we don't treat it with respect, bro. Come on, we haven't even touched it, and you want to poop in it, Trevor. Like, you really need one thing that you need to stop doing. You need to stop drinking 8 cups of coffee every day, okay? Because you are what you drink, and right now you're too dark. You gotta drink some water, lighten it up. Okay, there you go. Anyways, Trevor, Leafs. I don't know where you want to go from here, but I want to talk about it, okay? Toronto, Ottawa. If Ottawa comes back with 3-0, which I hope happens, not for the sake of hating the Leafs, but because again, I love Ross and Brandon. They're such funny guys. They're such good guys. I would love for them to just give their fan base and for their fan base in general just to enjoy more games. But could you imagine the laughter across the? I'm actually laughing because it's like you can't even make this stuff up. If Toronto blows a 3-0 lead and again can't get out of the first round. And is like 1-15 in elimination games afterwards. Again, if Ottawa completes the reverse sweep, bro, is that not the funniest thing you'd experience in your 25 years of watching hockey? And you look at the collapse the Canucks are on, like the blow-ups that's about to happen. Probably again, if the Canucks don't acquire Matt Barzal before July 1st, like this thing's gonna blow up. Do you see something similar with the Toronto Maple Leafs? Like if they get reverse swept by Ottawa, is it? I know they just hired a new coach and named a new captain, but like, is that when he pressed the red button?
I think you have to, right? And I think they've set themselves up to do that with the fact that both Tavares and Mitch Marner are UFAs. And, I struggle to see a world how they become better if they let those guys walk as free agents. But, really the argument isn't about like amassing talent. It's about changing up the dynamic of that locker room. Because clearly, if they blow this against Ottawa, it's not working. Like Mitch Marner can put up 100-point seasons. John Tavares had a hell of a year too, but it's just not working if those two guys like with that core. So I do think it's time to blow it up, man. 100%. Again, I don't know how they get better on paper, but I just don't see how you roll it back after Kyle. They've made the playoffs for 9 straight seasons. They have won 1 game in the second round in that time. 1 game in 9 seasons.
Bro, they've won 1 elimination game, like that same amount of time too.
Exactly, right? Like 1-16 or whatever it was, that crazy stat you brought out. So
1-13.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a decade of you should be a Stanley Cup contender, or you've been on that path and you can't even get out of the first round or make any noise in the second round the one time you got out of the first round. I mean, I think it would have to be time to blow it up. I don't really see how, like, you talk to any Leaf fan right now and sometimes it's Canuck fan I can relate because they're sad and depressed, even though they have a good team. Like, they don't believe in their team to come back right now. I don't know if that locker room believes in them to come back right now. So, I mean, maybe the goal improve us all wrong, but man, oh man, that's, I'm certainly, as a bitter Canuck fan, a guy who loves to cheer against the Maple Leafs, loves to cheer against the Oilers. I would love to see, Toronto collapse to Ottawa. Plus, shout out to my wife and her hometown team in Ottawa. They're my second team now, man. Go Locked On Sens. We are all Locked On Sens, and go Sens go.
Yeah, dude. No, it would be so funny. And just remember, guys, like, when the Canucks made the Stanley Cup final in 2011, like they blew a 3-0 lead to Chicago, but they won Game 7 in overtime. after Jonathan Toews scored a shorthanded goal to tie it up, like late in the third period. Like it's just anything can still happen. Okay, the story of being a champion is like it's so unorthodox, and also the story of being an utter failure is just that as well, with way more misery. And that's why we watch sports. And this could be again like laughable. I think it's just the correct word. Like I'm not even a Leafs hater like that, but I feel as if I will be binging like 3 hours of post-game shows from Leafs pundits after that happening. Because after what happened to the Canucks this year, and call me the devil. I've been thinking about the devil a lot lately, okay? The New Jersey Devils, but nonetheless, the Devils. I'm petty, bro. I'm petty. If you're hurt and I'm hurt at the same time, I'm laughing that you're hurt. I'm sorry. I need to be, okay, no, that's a joke, Trevor. Please don't, okay, maybe we should cut this episode because I don't want people to think I'm a toxic masculine man. Is that what they call people like me? Anyways, Trevor, sports.
I think it's a good time to cut to break here. I'm curious to see people if they're brave enough to say in the comments who they would cheer for in a cup final over the Leafs and Oilers. You're right. The correct answer is F them both. But you got to be bold sometimes, man. Throw an opinion that some people might not like. Let's cut to break here. On the other side, I do want to get to a few comments, and I do want to talk about why New Jersey sucks and all the Hughes brothers should come to Vancouver. That's coming up here on Locked On Canucks. Your Canucks every damn day. No sponsor here. Just taking a break to scratch my sack here on Locked On Canucks.
People, we back doing this, and that's talking about hockey, man. That was nice. You know, it was nice for 10 minutes or like 6 minutes, Trevor, to just talk about like hockey and like other teams going through bad stuff and like the reality of things and not just assume the worst with the Canucks, because I feel as if you and I have been here for a decade. Nonetheless, this is Locked On Canucks. Do us all a favor. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. It helps us grow, man. Y'all keep us here, man. Honestly, yo. Again, my 7-day contract does end in 2 days. I'm renegotiating again. Honestly, Trevor, the way I thought about it, and we'll have more on this announcement on Friday. It's going to be one of the biggest announcements in Canucks podcasting history. Be there. After the news yesterday, I contemplated, calling the people at Locked On and was like, you know what, guys, like just like Rick Tocchet said, like I don't know if I can bring my best foot forward here in this place in the world of hockey podcasting. Like this team is just way too stressful. I don't know if I can do that. But then I thought about it some more, and I was like, dude, I'm loyal to Vancouver first and foremost. Like no matter what, my neighborhood is my neighborhood. We're all family, and family. I'm gonna say family again. We're all family. The best teams are family. CC Rick talking to that email. I think I'm gonna sign the biggest Canucks podcast deal in the history. Now I just signed the biggest 7-day podcast hockey deal in history, but I'm thinking about a 5-year deal worth the most. I'll donate some of that money too. It's all love over here, but I'm not giving up on the city. Like Rick Tocchet's motivated me and taught me more about myself based on his decision.
I'll be damned. Well,
Man, oh man. I mean, Kyle, you're I always tell the people you do 87% of the work here on Locked On Canucks, and it's nice to see you getting along the path of being compensated properly here, I got to feed my family, but hey, man, oh man, if I'm doing 13% of the work here, I shouldn't be making, 80% of the money. So let's switch that around, man. Let's switch that around. And I hope you get paid the most, man. It's out of my hands. I'm throwing up my hands.
Hey, man, I don't negotiate through the media. Trevor, let's not make it about me, okay? Can we just talk about some hockey, bro? Let's just talk about some hockey, brother. All right? The New Jersey Devils, they suck. You know what's crazy, Trevor? It's like you believe in manifestation, you believe in good things, you believe in remember propaganda, and people are like, oh, you shouldn't be watching TV because they're sending you bad messages. It's like, yo, the New Jersey Devils have won 3 Stanley Cups. The Canucks, the Orca Whales haven't won any. These guys are the Devils. Illuminati, they've won Stanley Cups, okay? Kind of crazy sometimes when I think about it. But hey, you think they suck, even though, again, they're better than us. They make the playoffs more often than not. There's some pieces there. Maybe if Nemec takes the next step, that's all they need, and they're there, and Hughes is healthy, and Jack Hughes is healthy, and Luke Hughes takes the next step. They got a good team there, but you're they're worse than us. Quinn Hughes, stay here and bring your brothers here because that team sucks more than we do.
Yeah, and I'm going bigger picture on this, man. Let's give a report card to the state of New Jersey here. Kyle, did you know that New Jersey is called the armpit of America?
Wow.
So, I mean, look, Quinn Hughes plays in my opinion, the most beautiful city in all of North America, man. The mountains, the beaches, the greenery. New Jersey, again, it's called the armpit of America because it was land stolen from New York. And, for some opinions about this from New Jersey, I'm going to Reddit, okay? This guy wrote like a 3,000-page essay on Reddit about why he hates New Jersey. And I'm just going to pick out some of the points here. Apparently New Jersey, you've heard it called the Garden State before. Apparently it's because they couldn't fit oil and petrol refinery state on a license plate. And apparently New Jersey, it's all like oil refineries, filth and stench all over the place. Well, that means gas prices are low. It does mean that you live in a stinky armpit of America.
What?
Oh my God, man. This guy gets, he's calling New Jersey full of wannabe. He says Guidos. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but
you're not allowed to say Guidos. You're not allowed to say that
anymore. He said,
Trevor, come on, man. It's 2025. You already call me a damn Findu every now and then. Now you're using just the word Guido. Come on, Trevor. You got drink some water, brother.
Okay, my bad. So basically, he's saying dudes in New Jersey regularly bathe themselves in Axe body spray under the false pretense that'll actually make them attractive. And oh my God, this guy's getting ruthless, man. He says the girls in New Jersey. What's the difference between Jersey girls and trash?
Okay, what? No, wait. Okay, Trevor. Okay, see, that's the Trevor Beggs, man. You got a family, and I just got a hockey team. Okay, man. Got slow. Okay, Quinn Hughes. Here's the thing, dude. Vancouver's beautiful, but the hockey team. I know. Remember what Sean told us? He's like, "Yo, don't say anything. Don't say anything sucks on the program." I guess sucks is offensive, but the Canucks suck. Sorry, people. Look at the stats. Look at the data. This guy's a competitor. He wants to win, and he's a family man too. Like he's an ultimate family man. Like really, really close with the family, and I think this guy would live in I think this guy would live in Delta to play for the Delta Devils, okay? If his brothers were there. And get paid $200 a week, okay? That's how much he wants to do it, and I don't knock him. Like, the fact that they're all so good, too, and him being a competitor, and then them all having the same bloodline, it's like, yo, we got to do this. We got to do this. It's not like Eric Stahl, Jordan Stahl, and Mark Stahl. They're all good players, don't get me wrong, and Jordan Stahl is really good, too. But it's like all three, like if Luke Hughes takes the next step, it's like, yo, these guys are all crazy. They're all like really, 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 really good. They could help a team win the Stanley Cup. So the fact that the city is gray in New Jersey and it's full of oil refineries and whatnot and the G word and supposedly the girls, hey man, all women are beautiful. Trevor, you gotta learn a couple things, okay? This is why you gotta listen to Mel Robbins. I always say it, man. So I'm not gonna. If it's not Vancouver, he's going to New Jersey.
You ever watch Jersey Shore, man? I mean, come on.
Of course I did. I grew up on. I taught me everything I knew. T-shirt time, boom, bam. Trevor. If we're gonna kick it back for a couple minutes, again, go Canucks, go. Maybe the Canucks get Matt Barzal or like they get another number one center without having to trade any of their big pieces like Quinn Hughes or Pettersson, and like everything fits like a glove. And Pettersson comes back next season, and next season's successful, and Quinn Hughes is like, you know what? I'm staying here. You never know, okay? But Trevor, you brought up Jersey Shore, and then you brought up Axe body spray. A, do you still use Axe body spray? And B, do you remember, and be careful with your language here, but remember being in the change room in like grade 6 and grade 7 with all your brothers and like how I don't even know if bad is the right word to describe the smell, but like it was like a toxic environment based on how much Axe body spray was in that. And like we all could have passed out and died and knocked our head against the floor and like, it would have been a murder scene. We would have got axed, okay?
Man, you could smoke a joint in the change room and no one would know because of all the axe going around, man.
No, if you spark a joint in there, you're gonna blow up the school. Okay, you know what? We gotta get out of here. You can't.
It's okay, man. No one died in the making of this podcast, but we might not make it to the next episode, man. Unbelievable.
Okay. We gotta get out of here. Okay. I know you're definitely not allowed to say that on YouTube. We're done. Okay, okay. I'm sorry. Okay, go Canucks, go. Hit the like button. Hey, if the New Jersey Devils, the Devils, Trevor. Last time I checked, the Devils is the worst word in the dictionary, okay? If those guys can win the Stanley Cup, we can crack a couple jokes, even if it's a destructive one, and get away with it, okay? And still win. I'm sorry. This guy's trying to light up dude, come on, man. TikTok, all these pranks. Trevor, sign us out, please. Okay, I don't want to.
Right, I want to get to one more comment first. Let's end on a positive note here on the Locked On Canucks. Kai, you keep mentioning the name Matt Barzal, so I want to show this comment from Canucks fan 94. We have to get a real good top six center this offseason and a couple good wingers if we want any chance of success. I mean, look, there is a world in which the Canucks, they make a deal for Matt Barzal. Maybe they get another top six winger in free agency. Maybe a guy like Nils Höglander takes the next step. Maybe Elias Pettersson bounces back. Like, there is a world where next season could be the do or die year for the Vancouver Canucks. Like, more likely than not, Hughes will not get traded this offseason. He will stick around in Vancouver because he got 2 years left on his deal, right? I think that the way Canucks management looks at this, because they don't want to be the team that traded Quinn Hughes away, right? As dire as it may seem right now.
Yeah,
of course. This is going to be an offseason, and we'll keep talking about it, where it's going to be one last kick at the can to hope Pettersson gets his ass in gear. They add to this forward group, and they try to prove to Quinn Hughes and the rest of the team that they can be legitimate. And Kyle, I know we went to some dark places over the past few episodes with the Rick Tocchet announcement, but to Canucks fan 94's point, there is a world in which they can improve the team this offseason to get some internal improvement, and Quinn Hughes sticks around. Like, that is still an option for Vancouver Canucks. It's not all doom and gloom, even though, man, oh man, it's just starting to feel very doomy and gloomy here in Vancouver. But through the good times and the bad times, we got you covered here on Locked On Canucks. So shout out to you and you from the everydayers to the first-time listeners. Elias Pettersson.
Pettersson's got to look like this. Elias Pettersson's got to look like this by June 14th. If Elias Pettersson doesn't show up on a Zoom chat with Quinn Hughes and the brass looking like this, Quinn Hughes is asking for a trade. That's all I'm saying. Aaron Donald, legend. Aaron Donald dancing to Punjabi music. One love to the Brown community. One love to Vancouver. One love to your neighbors. Let's take care of each other and let's work out. Okay, Trevor, if you want Elias Pettersson to get jacked, Trevor, let's widen up the shoulders a bit too, okay? Okay? Come on, man. Turn into a lumberjack. You evolve. Locked On Canucks. Peace.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.